Hey everybody, this is Grace, and I was going to go today to do some shopping, and it's after Christmas and before New Year's. It's the Saturday before New Year's, and have a day out just doing things I hadn't been able to do, that make some videos and this kind of thing. And look, it's rainy, the roads are slick. I really haven't driven this SUV. It's new. I got it in May. And I really haven't driven it much in the rain when the roads are slick at all. I don't think I've even driven it on the highway yet. Seriously, because most of what I do is around town. But anyway, I'm not sure what I'm going to do today because of it and how I'm going to make videos. I want to make videos at home, but because Adam's home for the holidays, he had around 3 weeks off. And it's just too much noise. He likes watching the ID show, and he watches it really loud in the living room. And there's not a room. The room where I do the videos, it's not closed in. It's open. So there's no door that would close it off. Anyway, I want to talk about something I've been thinking about. I've been doing videos about for who knows how long. But I think on my original channel, I've been doing videos for, August was 5 years, and now it's into December, so pardon the blinker. But somewhere along the line during that, closer to the beginning, I started doing videos about these kind of toxic people. Let's just sum them all up as toxic people. These days people call them narcissistic people, but I've been doing them about that, and different behaviors. It's nothing new to me to think about them. No, I've seen too many in my lifetime for it to be fresh and something somebody needs to tell me what to think. Plus my degrees are in psychology and sociology, so not only have I had experience, but the education too. And just for the record, I did teach at college and university, so no, I don't need anybody to tell me. And you might be surprised, unless you've had a YouTube channel, maybe not so much. How many times people will try to tell you how to think? Like, you do a video, they might even say the same thing that you said, and just as if it's their thought. And that is one of these things that I have seen the behaviors of. People think it's stealing your ideas. They might even say them back to you. How many videos I've done about copycats? They steal your ideas. But some of the things, you observe some things. You can observe some things online, and it sparks a thought. But I'm talking about when people just take what you say, what you do a video on, and make a whole video on it. I had one who did it verbatim. I am not kidding. I was like, oh my goodness. Really? She took my video and made it her own and just repeated what I had said. I didn't watch the whole video. I skipped through it, and it was like, yep, there, yep, there, yep, there, same thing. Wow. But one of the things I've been thinking about lately is how when I may even mention on a video on one of my channels, I have more than one channel, is just about this, just about toxic people. It's nothing else mixed with it, mainly just toxic people, dysfunctional families, that kind of thing. And I mentioned this about when I was a child. I basically had questioned, a child now, I'd questioned why some families have, some of the kids turn out good and some of the kids turn out bad. Now, that was a child's way of looking at good or bad, there's not concrete. Some are, it's not just black or white, there's shades of gray. But as a child, at whatever age I was, no, I wasn't thinking that way at all. And pardon the windshield wiper too, but some of it. But now, sometimes I think that was so much. It was so simple, and it may actually work, because these days I know so much more about it. I mean, I'm not a child. I'm far from being a child, and I am one to think that not many people change. Okay, I haven't experienced many people changing. Sure, they can change. Sure, they can go to counseling and, develop better skills or something like this. But do they totally change? Well, I don't know. I don't have any statistics. Don't have any research sitting in front of me right now. But I have research, and actually it's back in the back, here, back of my SUV. But lots of it. But anyway, my own personal observation with so many people is that they don't. If they are rotten, they're going to continue to be rotten. Yeah, I'm using that word rotten. Yeah, I was thinking childhood. But yeah, if they, like people who do you wrong, do something wrong to you, and then they apologize. I have never known anybody who apologized, who actually, to me, it's like this. They think, the nerve, to start off with, the nerve of them to think that I'm a person they can do wrong to. Okay, then there's the second thing, if they think that, okay, all they have to do is say, I'm sorry, and then that's over, it's done with. And we're taught that, I think, from our youth, that if somebody says they're sorry, you give them a second chance. These days, I doubt I'd give too many people a second chance at all, unless I had to, like work or something like that. I don't work right now, but I'm a homemaker. But yeah, I doubt I would, because my experience, and that's not really a good thing, but it's not universal. Like I said, most people I would not give a second chance to, because first of all, how dare you think that you can do that to me and get away with it, and that you could do that to me at all. Then to think, that all you have to do is say you're sorry and it's all over. No, it's not that easy. Because my experience is that people, they'll say they're sorry. Do they really mean it? No. Especially if they just say, well, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. I'm sorry. No. And then they get mad when you don't accept it. You don't just bounce back. You might still be angry. You still might be upset. And you don't just bounce back and say, oh, okay, everything's cool now. No. I could be totally wrong about all this. It could be totally, against what counselors might say. But to me, no, there's not a one-size-fits-all with any of it. I studied, I took counseling courses, a lot of them. I was a career student. At graduate level, yeah, and there was no, when they had their little vignettes, they did not tell you how to see it. They did not tell you that there is a one-size-fits-all, because it doesn't. It's up to the counselor, and especially like what kind of therapy they want to use and so forth. No, it's not a one-size-fits-all, because it's not and not everybody is the same. Nobody is the same. No two situations are the same. So there can't be okay, I slap this on it and that'll fix it. No, it's not that how it works. Wait, to move on a little bit. This month I especially have, December especially have a lot. Not just because of the Christmas, that brings up these memories, these flashbacks and everything, but this is the month I went no contact with a bunch of people 7 years ago. I'd had enough. I wasn't going to deal with that anymore. Overdone. And I've learned a lot since then, and and I do know and I do understand how it is to, you start to doubt it, and you say, okay, maybe I'll give them a second chance, and then let me just text them, just a Merry Christmas or something like that. But I did that with two people, and it was, like I said, several people, and that I went no contact with, but just two people, I did that. Something, Merry Christmas kind of thing. And usually I get it from one of those anyway, because that involves more than one person. And it just brought about those feelings again. They don't change. They really don't change. It's going to be the same. But like I said, it's not a one-size-fits-all. There might be one or two, or I don't know the statistics behind it. So, yeah, can't say 100%. I got some breakfast at that donut place there. So where was I? But anyway, one of the things about it is also that is I have never noticed too much of people who do things wrong to apologize, because my experience is that they always think that they're right, and that there's nothing wrong with their behavior as it is. So it was one of the, some of it is that of knowing the score, but these are not all on a one size fits all, like I've been saying. They're on like some people call it a spectrum. I would say more of a continuum, on the way people behave. So it's not as easy as when I was a child, that it's black and white, that is good or bad. It's just not that easy. But to trust, again, when you've been through it could be difficult. It is for me. When I say you, I really mean me. Just for the records, you know, that kind of, when we say anything, maybe we do. Maybe most people do. They say, I don't have any statistics on it. They'll say, you know, when you do this or you go there or you and they're not talking about you. But anyway. But when I do think back, you know, when I was younger, when we were all younger, people that would do this, yeah, they would say, oh, I'm sorry, like that. But like I'm saying, when they get older, that I don't hear it. You know, I didn't hear it from those, no contact, of course, because they don't think that by that time, those didn't. They don't think they're wrong. They think anything that they do is just perfect. And now there's another thing, but I was thinking about, and that's my generation. I'm a younger baby boomer. I'm going to say younger baby boomers, not all baby boomers, and not all of them anyway, not even the younger ones. But we had some strict rules. At least where I grew up, the people I was around, people I've known since then, met from other places, they were, you know, we had really strict rules that we had to follow, and social rules, anything, you know, we had to follow. And one of the things I've noticed since, you know, being online since 1990, you can run across people that you never would have, of course, and that's a long time, 1990, yeah, and I think about more than half my life. And you know, see people who weren't, but overall, yes. And I've noticed that more and more these days, it's like, okay, too many. The more okay, let me get this right. More of what I see these days, and it's not even just one age group or anything like that, but it's more of that the rules don't apply to them. Okay, that they don't understand that. Yeah, you can do what you want to do, you can say what you want to do, but there are consequences. They don't get to that part of the consequences. I'm not talking about everybody, of course. But this is a trend I see, that, okay, we do this, and we can have freedom of speech, we have freedom of, you know, to do what we want to do. Nobody should tell us who should be, you know, who should we do this with, or who we, you know, where we should work, or anything like that. We have total freedom to be and do what we want to be. But they don't get to that point, okay? Like I said, there's something after that, and that is, but we have to know that there are consequences to our actions or inactions, and we pay the price for them. No, some of them, when that happens, they blame somebody else. They blame the victims, or they just blame somebody else all around. It's not their fault, or just say, well, I didn't know that, you know? Well, yeah. You know, especially around my age, or even if you're an adult, you should know on certain things. That's not, you can't know everything. No, you can't. But, you know, social rules and social laws, and social rules, yeah, you should have a pretty good idea that you don't do something bad to anybody and just expect it to be okay when you say, I'm sorry. It just doesn't tend to work that way. And especially, it depends on, you know, if that person was raised with those strict rules or not. And them expecting those strict rules to be upheld is not them being abusive. And that's another thing I've seen so much of. In fact, there was this young woman years ago. She was 18, I think. That's a very young woman. And she had told me about some things she did wrong. Or somebody had told me. And then she was with me when we went to some place, and just alone. And she told me about it. And I didn't ask her. She told me also, and she blew it off like she did something wrong, and she was having to pay a price for it. And she was saying everybody else is at fault and all this kind of stuff. Or before that, I said, well, you do have consequences to your actions when you do something like that, you know, something bad. And she says, what does that mean? I thought she meant the word, consequences. I thought maybe, you know, we all have to learn the words at some point. And so I explained it, you know, in detail, and she said, I've never heard that ever in my life. Nobody has ever told me that if I do something that I have to pay the consequences. She said never. And she wasn't being sarcastic or anything like that. She flat out, she said, I'm serious. No, that's not the way we're taught. We're taught we can do what we want to do and how we want to do it when we want to do it. It's like, wow. Okay, now, of course, that's just one example, and that doesn't mean everybody who's younger than, you know, I and all that stuff. It's not a one-size-fits-all. I keep saying that. You wouldn't believe how many people will say, oh, but you said this. I also said one size doesn't fit all. But anyway, you know, and I see that in people, like I said, it doesn't matter what generation, that they think that, okay, and I think it's like they get confirmation bias, you know, that they think this way, well, I should be able to do this and just get away with it anyway. You know, nobody should tell me I can't do this, even though they may know that, yeah, you shouldn't be doing that. And then what they'll find is somebody else who thinks the same way, and then it just like spreads like weeds. You know, oh, we can just do what we want to, say what we want to, it doesn't matter, nobody can do anything. Then they're slapped with something. You know, seriously. You know, something bad happens because they were doing what they wanted to do and not thinking about other people. You have to think about the other people involved. And that's how I see it. You might see it different, but I see it that way. It's not, this world is not just about you. It's not just about what you want. There's a give and a take with it all. And if not, it catches up with you. And eventually, I'm not a person who believes in karma, like it's some kind of mystical, magical thing, no. But I think more people understand karma, the word karma, what, you know, bad karma catches up with you kind of an attitude. But no, I believe that, yeah, your social world, or just society in general, it's going to say, you know, who's around you, it's going to say, nope, we're not allowing that. It's not happening. And these days, what I've noticed, though, especially online, is, well, online, I should not say especially, but online. If somebody says, no, I don't agree with you, that's not a good thing, that's bad, you know, you got a bad behavior there going there, you know, and they'll call that person a troll. That's the whole thing. Like in person, it's saying, oh, that person, you know, like if you're in person, somebody says, no, I don't agree with that. And they'll say, you know, tell somebody else, oh, that person just hates me. Or like a teacher just hates me. And the teacher said, no, that's not how you do that. And nope, the teacher just hates them. You know? But my channel's for adults, so for adult audiences. So say a professor or something like that, and you know, it's to turn it back around away from them, away from themselves, turn it back around at somebody else. And I see a lot of that these days. Seriously, a lot. But it, like I said, I'm not going to add a but to it. It's just plain and simple. That's what I see. And it really needs, you know, like a pendulum swung too far. Like my generation, the younger baby boomers, we had so many, at least the ones I knew, like I said, so many strict rules for everything and really harsh consequences. And it seems like as time went on, as we got older and everything, like I was saying, that the pendulum swung. And it's not, as I said, not just the younger generation. No, it swung so far the other direction. It needs to balance out a little bit between both. You do have consequences to action. I don't make the rules. I'm just talking about it. I'm well aware of those consequences to action. So we have those consequences. We need to know. People need to know. You just can't say, I'm sorry, and it's over with. You know, it just really depends. Generally, what I've seen, no, just sorry doesn't cut it. You have to keep doing that attitude. You have to, you know, keep doing those actions. And then when that person says, you know, they're angry or whatever they are, and they say, no, this is not happening, it's not up to you to debate. And that's their boundary. They're setting a boundary and saying, you're not crossing this boundary again. You're not going to step all over me. It's not happening. And I know too many people will just say, well, they don't have that right. Yes, they do. They do have a right to say what is not going to happen to them. Anyway, but like I said, the holidays set up a lot, and I know a lot of people go through these, especially because many people are with family or friends, and then there's so many, you know, like children or adult children, whatever. And it's like readjusting boundaries or readjusting what's going on, and then there's some arguments can happen and so on and so forth. So yeah, holidays tend to bring this kind of stuff up and these thoughts. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up, and I'll talk to you on another video.